Create a Life You Love podcast, the go-to podcast for people who are called to make a positive impact through the power of coaching. You'll hear encouraging stories from coaches sharing their journeys and their lessons learned along the way, tips from top experts who help coaches thrive in their life and their business, and so much more. So if you're ready to create a business and a life of impact that you love, let's get started. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us on today's episode of the Create a Life You Love podcast. Hello, Gwen. Hello, Jackie. How are we feeling tonight?
Awesome.
Woohoo.
So excited.
Thrilled to be here.
Absolutely. Okay, we have a super fun night planned out for you all. So let's get through all the intro stuff. So if you are new and you don't know me yet, my name is Chantel Cox. I'm an author, speaker, a transformation neurocoach, and certified life purpose coach. I save purpose-driven coaches from feeling stuck and frustrated so that they can get off the hamster wheel and make the aligned impact that you're destined for without overwhelm and burnout.
Woohoo. And I am Gwen White. I'm a quantum human design specialist and certified virtual coach. I work with powerful, creative, highly sensitive, introverted women entrepreneurs who hire me to discover their clarity and passion so that they live lives of purpose and prosperity. And before we jump in with Jackie, a quick shout out to our sponsor, the Create a Life You Love membership, an active community of passionate, purpose-driven coaches who are up-leveling in the most powerful ways to increase their knowledge, momentum, and impact. So for more information and to apply, check out createalifeyoulovecoaching.com/membership today.
Yes. A quick reminder, this is being streamed live on Facebook and YouTube. And so if you are joining us live, please share comments and questions in the chat. And if you happen to be joining us from Facebook, please be sure to allow permissions at chat.restream.io/FB. Okay, so we are super excited to be here today with my longtime friend and my first ever coaching collaborator, Jackie Cote. Jackie's a visionary speaker and destiny maker. She's a mindset coach who helps you create the life of adventure and freedom that you truly desire by awakening, empowering, and owning the leader within you that is dying to come out and play. Jackie's a Jersey girl at heart who's now living out her dream of freedom and adventure by traveling the country in an RV with her man and 2 pups, meeting virtual friends and changing lives on her terms. And I can speak from personal experience that she has mastered the ability to help people see what they cannot see, believe that they can do more than they ever thought they could, and take the inspired action to make it happen. So welcome back to the podcast, Jackie. We're so glad to have you on the show again. How are you and where are you joining us from?
Thank you so much, first of all, for having me. It's a pleasure meeting both of you guys, and thank your audience for being here. I am coming in from Virginia, and it is towards the Virginia Beach area now, which is where my boyfriend's kids are, and my family's in Jersey, so we spend some time here during the holidays, and then we go roam the rest of the country the rest of the year.
Fun times.
Yes.
Well, as someone, Jackie, I was checking out your website and I just love the site. I love what I read about you, what I learned about you. And as someone who spent years in the restaurant business as well, I'm really fascinated to hear about that part of your life and what prompted you to make the transition into coaching. But first, I would love for you to tell us a little bit about your journey to creating a life you love through mentoring, speaking, and coaching. Who do you serve? What got you started in all of this destiny making?
Well, actually, they kind of tie together. So my journey from the restaurant industry, I went to college to be a teacher because I knew I was the kid who set up classrooms with little pieces of paper and pencils and wanted to teach everybody. And so I was like, I have to be a teacher. So I went to college and got that degree. And 1 year into teaching, I was like, no, this is not for me. And I didn't know what alignment was. I just knew it wasn't what I wanted to do. And I give so much blessings and so many kudos to the teachers. So you teachers out there, high five, because I know Chantel, all of you guys, man, I give you so much credit but what scooped me up after that was the restaurant industry. And that really was something that was in my blood from day one when it came to the leadership side of it. I was literally given keys at 15 to be a kid who to run the bakery, to run the local bakery in Jersey, which is kind of illegal at 15 to let a 15-year-old run it alone without adult supervision. But we did for $4 an hour, and that shows you my age. But so that led through 30 years of leadership management in that industry, and I was constantly in management positions. And but what I like, and because it's hard work, it's a lot of hours, and people ask me all the time, like, what makes you stay? And I was like, it's the mentoring and the coaching people to next levels, like helping them see what they couldn't see, holding the gift of belief up for them until they got there, and then raising it again, and watching like people who didn't speak English when I met them, like buying homes for their kids and putting kids through college. And so it was ultimately what I call myself a freedom mentor now, because I was really, if you look back, there were so many places I can identify, like, oh, I helped create freedom there. I helped create freedom there, like freedom for their kids, freedom for themselves, money freedom, time freedom. I have some people who like ended up going into their own businesses through working with me and all sorts of stuff. And so that just naturally was a natural transition into what I'm doing today. But I would have never have left that industry if I didn't get fired from it. So the best day of my life was back in August 2018 when they escorted me out of the building and said, we're letting you go. You're not meeting expectations, which in 30 years, I'd never heard those words. I was always someone who excelled in what I did, and I loved what I did, and I was very good at it. But the last 2 years, I put myself into a corporate office position, and I don't know if you've done management and you've done operations, it's like a animal in a cage when you put them in a corporate office position, right? And I was behind a desk. I was learning how to create things on a computer, which was not my jam at the time, which is so funny because now I live my life on a computer, right? And so, but when they said that 2 months previous, I had met a company that I started doing some coaching schooling with, and that coaching schooling was life coaching, health coaching with HCI, and it opened my eyes to possibility. I was living a very predictable life. And that predictable life was like I went to a job, I made money, and I did the things that we should be doing, the boxes that we were taught to be in. But I always fought those boxes and I didn't know why. And so when I saw the possibility and then they let me go, it just matched up perfectly to go, wow, now I get the opportunity to bet on me and create something that with when I went to my first event for coaching, I don't know if you guys have experienced this, but you're like, I get to do what I love and do it on my own time, like, and create my own, like, and make whatever I want to make. And it's all like this possibility world of like, yes, it's all because these people are doing it. So if they can do it, I can do it. And that just fired me up. And yeah, no, it wasn't overnight money. It took some time to build, but it was just something that I knew I like never wanted to go back to a job at that point. And I took 6 months off. So once you taste freedom like that, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. So that's what led me to here, being the freedom mentor. The RV one's a whole nother story.
That's amazing. Yeah, I can definitely relate to the restaurant side of it and also the teaching side of it. Both my parents and my sister, my older sister, are teachers. So, yeah, I definitely understand why you may have made the career switch because, yeah, it is definitely like you have to be really cut out for it, just like you have to be really cut out for the restaurant business or coaching. So brilliant, you. And yeah, exactly. It's interesting how the universe does swoop in at just the right times to, yeah, create transition and opportunities where, there weren't those things. And all of a sudden, there's something new. And you really
Mm-hmm.
like moved into it gracefully. It only took you, what, 6 months? Yeah, I
Grace,
didn't have it. It took me 2 years to go from, yeah, there to
I don't know if
there.
I'd call it gracefully. Let's I didn't tell you the first year story, but there's some there's there's some okay, so you first go to your coach and you hire a coach and you say, "Teach me how to run a business, how to create a business."
Mhm.
And she goes, "Uh-huh, okay." And this is what I do now to clients, right? Like they teach me like, oh, all the strategy. The first year, she cracked me open like a walnut. Like I was crying more than I've ever cried, and not to scare anybody, but that was the healing I needed that first year so that I could step into then become graceful. but I was not graceful whatsoever, with stuff coming out of my face and my eyes and my nose and everything for a very long time. Because what it helped me do, and that's what I always, that part of the journey was priceless, because that's what helped me love myself. That was what helped
Exactly.
me enjoy the time to be with myself. That's what that was true freedom right there. When I talk about freedom, people we like to talk about time freedom, money freedom, location freedom, like all the external things, but really it was the internal ability to want to be with myself, the ability to feel, because I didn't do
Yeah.
that for 40 years. The ability to overcome. I overcame an eating disorder. I did all sorts of stuff that helped me become the foundation for then, so that I can layer in the stuff that I do today for myself and then for others.
Amazing. Just amazing. Yeah. And yes, I can, yeah, it all resonates, like all of it. And yeah, the inner work is huge, huge.
Not what I
It's
expected.
exactly. And it's really not optional, is it?
No. No, 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 no. It is not like, wait, no, that's not what I asked for. Can we take that back?
Right.
I love it. Um, so you kind of have defined it a little bit, but I'm going to ask you like point blank and just see what comes out because it may be a rephrasing of things you've already said or something new may come out. Let's see. So we always ask our guests, what does create a business and life of impact you love mean to you?
Mm. So, creating a business of a life you love and impact is really, it starts with you. It starts with understanding and aligning with you, learning who you are. I call it awakening, empowering, and owning who you are. And when you get to do that, that's when all of a sudden you look up and creating the life you love is way easier. Like, we're taught to create the success and the money first and not the life. I believe the opposite, and I know we're all on the same page with that. It's like, let's create the life we love and fit that success and money into it the way we designed to put it into it. And the impact part is like, when you own who you are, your gifts, your light, your magic, whatever you want, whatever you want to call it, it's what magically, organically, naturally, authentically impacts the world. You don't even have to try. Like, you get to just be, and then the world gets to like just experience who you are. I said this to my group right before you guys. I said, "Do you know that you're the?" Because people are like, "I'm not the expert." I'm like, "But you're the expert at your life. You're the expert at your experiences. You're the expert at what you, who you are. Only you can do that. And when we own that, it gets so much easier. It gets so much easier. And that's where I feel like we get to be the biggest impact in the world on everybody around us and whoever comes into our world, when we really own who we are and love the heck out of her or him.
Oh, I love it. It's a beautiful,
Mhm.
beautiful way to capture that. And so, reflecting back on your journey, what do you think has been one of the most valuable lessons that you've learned so far?
Oh my gosh, I gotta pick one. Right? Because it's like tink, 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 tink.
Right.
Um, I mean, the something that got me like through that first year of like, oh my gosh, the money, oh my gosh, this, oh my gosh, that, like all the fears and the doubts, was like seeing the fear and like doing it anyway,
Mm,
not holding back and going, okay, yes, I'm scared. Let's just do it anyway. I'm going to give two. I'm going to cheat. I'm going to give two. Then there
go
was
for it.
trusting and surrendering. I didn't understand this concept at all. I was a recovering I got it girl. I had done everything myself since I was a kid. Like, I took care of myself. You know, dad worked 80 hours, mom passed away. Like, I was doing all the things. I had to make all my own decisions. So I was like the ultimate independent, I got it girl. I don't need help. And then I got to this point where I realized that no, I'm not alone. I have a higher power. I have support systems, and I don't have to do this alone. And I always felt like I had to. And then I realized I don't, and I wasn't ever alone. So trusting that we have support in that, in whatever God, universe, whatever you believe in, trusting that we have that support and that we have this inner knowing and intuition, and surrendering to the outcome, like loving the front end process and surrendering to the outcome. Because we like to say, well, how and when, and we don't have control over that. Let go of the control and surrender. And love the
Yeah,
front end and have fun with it.
Enjoy the journey.
Yes. Oh
exactly.
my
Enjoy the
joy.
process. Oh,
Yes.
yeah, exactly. Ooh,
Well,
really good, valuable lessons.
I mean, like doing what you guys do, even just based on your descriptions, like the brain only knows what it knows, and it knows like the past that we can't change, the future we can't control, the future worries that we can't control. And it's a powerful machine that can create these vivid worry stories, like vivid, like they are so true. We have lived them. So why don't we want to create the stories of what we desire,
Mhm.
what we want
Yeah.
to like, what we want our life to be like, and step into those instead? That's way more fun.
Yes.
When I learned that, I was like, oh, so we get to choose that. Yes, you do.
That's
Exactly.
amazing. Yeah, that's one of the things that I love about Gwen and I's combo of the neuro coaching model with the human design. It's, taking, we don't dig in, we're not therapy, like, we're not going to figure out like why that thing is there and try and like heal it necessarily, but we get to look at what we want to automate and use our brain as a powerful tool, but then also the human design, bringing in that internal, that alignment, that just everything that they offer, they go really nicely together. It makes a really nice little holistic package there. So yeah.
I know a little bit about it. I know I'm a manifesting generator, and I'm like a
Ooh.
uh-huh or uh-uh. Like I know. I'm
Exactly.
like a hell
Exactly.
yes or
Yep, exactly right. Yeah, and Jackie, the way you language, talking about trusting and leaning into the what and not the how and the when, you know, um, totally. Those are huge pillars of human design, in particular quantum human design, and then restoring,
Mhm.
which is another thing that we do a lot of.
mm-hmm,
And what's really cool is that, with human design, you have a map that shows you exactly like what your amazing gifts are. So you don't have to
mm-hmm,
guess, you don't have to go dig into your past and think about what amazing things you've done. And of course, we've all done amazing things, and that's not a bad thing to do anyway. I think it's a great
mm-hmm,
coaching exercise. But you can also look right into the present moment at that map and see your story. And you can see
mm-hmm.
it, of course, in a low form expression, or you can choose to see it in the highest vibration expression. And that's really where you get to own your power. I love that. I am super
Yes.
curious about how you came up with the three pillars for freedom seekers and what do they mean to you?
So this is only about a year ago that I put it into this verbiage per se, but I remember the beginning. I kind of just went through my journey and everything, all the things that I've run in my business and all the things that I've learned. And it was really the beginning was awakening. Like I woke up the vision of what it is. And without that vision, the brain doesn't like, we don't know how can we function on what we don't know. And that vision was so when I walked into that function and I saw all these people like running these businesses, I was like, oh, okay. So like I was like, well, I could do that too. Then of course my vision was like, I want to run all 72 aspects of a coaching business right now. That doesn't work. So, but it's all part of my vision and it's all coming true over the years, right? But without that vision, without waking up, I like to like go back to like waking up the little girl who like was fearless, who could do anything, who would like I said, stand in front of the room, and she already knew how to like teach everybody. She could make the best mud pies. She could stand and choreograph like to a Steve Miller band song, which was really horrible, by the way. But like I did it, and I felt like a expert at it, right? And so that's the awakening part, like tapping back into what everything we need is already in us, as we know, right? Everything's already in there, but awakening and letting her come out and play. And then when it comes to the empowering, it's really like, what did I do after that point? Once I awakened, I was like, well, I empowered the fact that boundaries, communication, setting it up, doing things my way. Not because I should be doing this, and really, then once put those in place, you can own who you are. Like those are all helping you. Like, okay, we woke her up. Okay, we're learning about her. We're like, okay, we're learning how to like empower her. And then it's like unapologetically, you just show up in the world as who you are, and you stand in absolute certainty that you in your magic, in your gifts. And so when you get to that point, it's like it everything just flows easy. And when we talk about gets to be done with ease and grace, well, yeah, no, there's a journey to get to ease and grace, but that's part of the vision. And then we get to do things to empower that ease and grace. Like when my client, my coach me one time told me, it was September 2019, and she's like, okay, October, you're going to do nothing. And I was like, what do you mean you're going to do nothing? And she's like, you're going to, because my schedule was packed out, ladies. I was a restaurant scheduled, nights, weekends, all of it. And when I was like, okay, do nothing. She's like, you're gonna add nothing to the schedule. So I trusted her. I like was like, let's do it. It scares the heck out of me, but I wasn't really making any money. So I was making like $1,000 a month, maybe. So, and by the way, no job still a year later. And so I trusted her, and then I tripled I went to $3,000 that month, and I did less work. And I was like, huh, worked one time. Let's see if it happens again. We tried again the next month, and that went to $5,000. And I was like, this is the part of the year, so October, November, December, that people don't spend money apparently because of the holidays. And it happened again in December. And what that taught me was that and she asked me the funny part about it. She said, what do you want your schedule to be eventually? I was like 10 to 4, Monday through Thursday. And I giggled and I laughed. And right. And I was like, no Fridays, no Saturdays, no Sundays, no nights. She's like, okay. So I went into my practice better and I put it in there. And I was like, this ain't going to work. I'm not going to make any money based on that. That has been my schedule for a year and a half. That has been my schedule. And and if I choose to do things like this, I get to choose to do it, right? I don't have to do it. But I only have people like things scheduled during that time. And if I choose to go on a retreat, I worked 1 week in September. I worked 1 week in October because I was on so many retreats and doing stuff. And so what I didn't know was possible because of the predictability I was living in became possible when someone showed me that it was possible, but I wasn't quite there. But then now I'm living this potentiality life where like it's moved past possibility. It's into potential. I didn't even dream that my schedule would be the way it is now and what I'm living and how it's working. And I was like, this one wasn't even on a vision board, but it turned into that because it's possible and the potential is unlimited.
Yeah, and you leaned into like just allowing it to happen instead of
Yes.
freaking out and not doing nothing.
Right. Right. And that's the biggest word of advice I can give anybody starting out is see the fear and do it anyway.
Exactly,
You got
courage.
courage, be bold, all of that.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Mm.
So I love hearing your journey of how you came up with that amazing sequence, Awaken, Empower, and owning your inner leader. How do you kind of help your clients with that? Like, we'd love to hear your approach and what advice you'd give someone who's seeking that.
I will be the first to tell you that my one-on-one coaches would sped up my process. I was in programs and stuff like that, and they really did help me teach. Like I learned the foundation of coaching. They give you like a structure and stuff like that, and some script and all that stuff. It was amazing. Like, but really, what took me from like strategy, because it's only 20% strategy, 80% mindset. I mean, 80% between these 2 years, right? That's my philosophy. And she took me through that 80% that I needed to be able to execute because we all, most of us know exactly what we need to do. And it's between these things that hold us back from doing it. And so that when I work with clients, I'm really direct and real. And I do it in one-on-one. I do it in groups. I do it in masterminds. I have a membership. I have all the pieces, someone can come in at any level, but it's always, I'll always guide you back to you. In anything that I do, I'm going to guide you back to you and work on that inner game because most of the strategy is already there. And there's some strategy, don't get me wrong, right? But that's not what's holding us back. It's here.
Really. So 100%
Yeah.
agree. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the inner work.
Yeah.
It's always the inner work.
It is always the inner work. So I really love too that you hit on like you show up authentically. I know that, like from meeting you in person, from knowing you for years now. And you really help others embrace that as well. And so, do you have any top tips to help people embrace their authenticity?
Hmm. Um, something, it's funny. I built the whole business on my Facebook personal page and networking with people and doing one-on-one calls. That's it. Like I did those and I spoke in front of groups. So I didn't have websites, bells, whistles, nothing until about 4 months ago. I got my first opt-in and I finally started using a website. And so 2.5, almost 3 years, it was me and my Facebook. And here's what I utilize my Facebook page for is to really just use as a digital diary to just share my life, to share my thoughts. Like it would be random. Like I'd have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and I'd talk about it. It would be like something meaningful that like, so whatever was going on, like in the day, good, bad, ugly, whatever it was shared in a digital diary onto Facebook and woven, my life and my business is like very combined. And now my travels of RV living, it's all part of me, to the point where someone at my last retreat literally grabbed my shoulders and said, "You're exactly who you are on Facebook. Like I can pluck you out of Facebook and put you like here and put you back in, and it's exact person." And they were just so grateful for that.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just encourage to change the meaning of what we put to the way we're doing our business, the meaning that we put to social media per se. Oh, it's so hard and it's got to be structured and I've got to do this and I've got to do that and this and that. What would feel fun and from a place of pleasure,
Mm.
not pressure? And so when it comes to, I kind of lost my, like, what was the question again? I was doing that. And I'm like, wait, what was the
We're
question?
talking about like authenticity,
Yeah.
embracing your authenticity. Yeah.
And so thank you. And,
Yeah.
and all my clients and anyone who's ever worked with me knows that it's like squirrel. The so when you learn, like the more and more you work with like your support system and everything to get back to who you are, it's almost hard to not be authentically you. If you feel any resistance, and everyone has their own way of teaching this, but I like to talk about it like when you feel the resistance, it's usually something from a place of pressure. And I ask
Mm.
myself the question, is this something from pressure or is this something coming from a place of pleasure? If it's pressure, it could be one of two things. It could be I'm scared, and but that's not pressure. That's just I'm scared and I'm nervous, but you still want to do it, and it'll still bring you pleasure. So you can act in that way. But if it's from this place of pressure because this person told me to, I learned it from this, and I'm hearing all this noise because there's a lot of
Oh, yeah.
noise out there. As a coach trying to create, like, you got to throw spaghetti on the wall and you got to try a lot of things, but you always got to come back to what feels good to you and what aligns with you. And I will tell everybody when I work with them, take what you like and leave the rest. You
Mm.
got to try things because you don't know what you like yet sometimes, just like a kid. But take what you like and leave the rest. And I am not saying that my way is the only way. You gotta create your own way from all the things and pull it all together and really just align it with you. And then go, huh, is this from a place of I've been told I couldn't sell freedom last year.
Mm.
My entire life, I've been a freedom focused, love focused. When I did my Akashic reading for the first time ever, she's like, your core is freedom and love. And I was like, no, of course it is. That's when, and I even got a look at my post recently. I had this freedom postcard that I wrote freedom across the top that my coaching company mailed to me a year
Oh,
after. That was 4 years ago I wrote that.
wow.
And someone told, and I listened to them. So I changed all the names of my programs. Like I didn't like use it as my title,
Oh my
and I
goodness.
listened. And then you know what I did 3 months later? I left the program. I canceled I got out of all my coaching because I ended all my programs, meaning like we were coming to the end. And I
Mhm.
went rogue and I went coachless for 3 months so I could hear myself.
Nice.
And I took
Oh,
3 months to just clear and like align with me. And that from that point on, so many things have popped out. Memberships popped out, retreats have popped out, group programs have popped out that naturally organically align with me. So I say that to say, I know in the beginning, people are like, I don't even know who I am. Like, and that's great. Do the work to figure that out and align with that, and then stay true to it and own it.
Absolutely.
mm,
Yes. Um, I think on some level we've all had similar experiences in what you just shared in different varying levels.
mhm.
And I definitely, so now I train coaches as part of my 9 to 5. I know me, the girl when you met me was like, I can't be a coach. Um, I'm now like, my career is training
See you.
coaches, instructional coach. I know you saw it in me and you helped me see it in me because you're magic. You're beautiful and
Saw it.
wonderful.
Okay, go ahead.
Um, and yeah, I just strongly believe that there's coaching and there's consulting and there's a time for both. But like when you're coaching, you're bringing out the answer from in them. Like you're asking questions. You're not telling them. You're not saying, nope, that's not right. You need to do this. No, Jackie, freedom shouldn't be your thing. You can't sell that. Here, do this cookie cutter, whatever the heck. Like, no, that is not coaching. I'm sorry. And the coaching industry is like, I don't know. We call it coaching and it's just not that. It's shoving ideas down people's throats and it really pisses me off.
Well, and
That's why
this
we're
is
disrupting it.
I
Triggered.
and so here's I love these of that and here's what I learned because I take like we all and I know on this call we take radical responsibility for our lives, right?
Yeah.
And we get to recognize things like that and we make to go, okay, that's how I will not do business. You get to learn how to
Yes.
do business, how to not to do business, and all that. And then like what I discovered at that point was that all I was doing was dishonoring myself and I was not listening to myself. And I learned from that experience. And thank God I had that experience because now I listen to myself and now I help other people do the same. And you know what's funny, Chantel, is that for 30 years in the restaurant business, I was that stubborn person who fought like the system and I was the one who like was like and I the way I managed people was all through questions. So I've been
Mm,
doing this for like 30 years and I never told people what to do because if you tell them they will doubt it and if it goes wrong it's your fault. But if you ask them enough questions to get them to say what it is that's the best thing for them, it's their idea and they walk through fire for it. And so
yep.
all my managers and I promoted 300 managers in my career or more and they just would walk through fire for the things that but I never had to tell them what to do because they got to think for themselves and fish, learn how to fish and all the other stuff, all the
Yeah.
sayings. And so to your point, I believe that there's two sides of this industry as well. There's coaching and there's mentorship. That's what I
Mhm.
Right.
call it. And like you said, consulting and like mentorship to me is where my magic really like fires up. Like I can
Mm,
teach something, I can teach a concept, I can teach a class, I can do all the things, I can feed information, and then I can help. But when I get into the like the mastermind side of my business, the mentorship and the one-on-one, that's like fun for me. Like that's where like because that's where it's like they're self-led. People are just like they're driven on their own, but they just really needed someone to help them see things differently.
yes.
And there's a
Yeah.
lot of coaching where it's like teach education knowledge, well needed. And then there's mentorship where I think the magic really happens. The combo is important, but that's what I love.
At some point, you had
Mm.
like, I don't know how to whatever make a social media post if I've never done it before. So I need the knowledge, but then having a coach help you shift your perspective, see your inner thing, ask, how do you want to do social media? What's in alignment with you? Not just saying, here's a bunch of, I don't know, captions, copy paste this. Like you've got to bring in your own, and you could insert any strategy, funnel or email building,
Mhm.
whatever shiny object you're chasing that moment. So we've got some awesome comments on here. So Catherine O'Leary loves the Steve Miller
Catherine.
also and potentiality. We have Alpha saying hello, and I'm going to show this one from Margine. She says, Coach Jackie, I love that. I have had the same experience that I listened to a coach and did what I did not align with. Never again. Now I argue with that coach and talk it out. Love that. And then
Mm.
she also said, um, I love a coach who helps me discover the truth that is in me rather than them telling me what I should be doing. It worked for them. You're right. It worked for them. Good for them, but you're not them.
Yeah, and that's I think the key point of the
Aw.
entire conversation, right? It's like when you be you, boo, that's when it really happens. But that takes us. It takes us to have the radical responsibility for ourselves and deciding and knowing and like really learning what is aligned through things like human design, through things neuro coaching, through all the things that we do, like having that person who can see what we can't see. Like I always say, like there's a label on a jar. You've heard, we've all heard the saying, we're in the jar, we can't read the label.
I love that.
Right? Like when you're stuck in the jar, it's like, okay, I can't read what this says. That's my business. I was kidding. I can't read what this says. That was cool, right? I didn't realize that was my cup that I had. I was like, oh, look at that. But when you're in there, you need someone on the outside to help you read that, whether that's a mentor, coach, whatever it is, partner, have it help you read that label, because I know I couldn't see mine, at least for the first year. I was absolutely clueless to my label that I didn't realize I needed support on.
Yeah, I love that analogy because, yeah, you're helping them see the label that already exists there and helping guide them to do that. It's absolutely amazing. Okay, so as we kind of start wrapping up, some things that we talk a lot about are personal success ritual, kind of like the personal things that you do to set yourself up for success. And so I'd love to hear some of the things that you choose to do, and I'd really love to hear like how you maintain them while living on the road.
This is an interesting question for me because I'm going to be a little different than most, which might be really refreshing for some. I don't have very like strict, consistent, like I do this every morning and I do this every. It's just not in my personality. It's not, doesn't align with me. So I'm like the ADD child of journaling. I'm the ADD child of like what I choose that day that I'm feeling that I'm going to Google, I'm going to search on YouTube and listen to, right? But I do something every day. So there's something that I do every day, every morning with my cup of tea. And it's not the exact thing because I get really bored with the exact thing every day, you know? And so, but every morning and that's why I said the schedule at 10, right? So every morning I'll do stuff like sit and listen to my favorite guy, Eddie Panera, World Within on YouTube. He's like, he just inspires me left and right with what he has, or listen to some kind of book, or, you know, what's really been really inspiring for me is actually like getting on Facebook and actually writing posts from what I woke up when I first thought when I woke up and stuff like that. And I'm the one to be like, don't touch technology before this and that, da, da, da. But for me, I view it very differently. So it's very inspiring for me to connect because my wall is coated with like amazingness of people because that's what I've built in my energetic realm. So I'm seeing posts from people traveling around the world that never I'm going my first Italy vacation, and like they're not my client, but they're in my world. So that's why, like, and I have so much fun, which sounds really strange to a lot of people. I have so much fun going down the wall of my Facebook. I'm like, oh, and then they did this, and they're doing this, and then oh, this kid, and so I have fun engaging in the world of positivity on my wall. So that's actually one of my routines, that journaling, listening to something, and then I like start my day. But I also make sure that in between the day, like I'm moving away from my computer. I'm going, walking the dogs. I'm you know, enjoying a lunch and actually sitting and eating it. I don't believe in the hustle and the grind. I'm actually allergic to it. I think I twitch. So when people say hustle, grind, struggle, it's not true to me anymore. It used to be, but it's not true to me anymore. And so, and then the new thing I started at night, and I love this because I got to share this. This is what filled my retreat in 2 weeks. I would go to bed picturing all of like all of us around a fire on the beach because the retreat that I just launched for April 2 weeks ago filled up in 14 days, and it was 18 people. But it came from me going to bed with visions of what it's gonna like. We were all around the personal chef because I have a personal chef. I've got a masseuse coming in, and I've got all this stuff. And I pictured all of those events happening, and then I slept on it for 6 hours, 8 hours, whatever that night of sleep was. So my brain's creating for 8 hours. And the next morning, legit, like 3 messages came in. Can I get the link for this? Okay, and someone would pay. The next day, I did it again. 3 more. I did it again. 3 more. And I was like, stop dreaming of that. You can't fill any more people. It was full. So I had to stop manifesting. And I was like, hey, I need to open up another location and another retreat. And it was really cool. And that was like, that's something newer to me. And I'm like, oh, this is going to be like, this is every night. Like, what's next? What do I want to go to sleep on next? So that's
that's amazing.
Generator.
Exactly. Yeah. And yeah, once you get a taste for it and you understand how it works, you totally can just play with it. It's so cool.
Right?
So cool.
So if you
Jackie,
haven't
I
gotten the
wish we could
Kool-Aid, if you
just
haven't gotten the
talk.
Kool-Aid, let us know. We'll help you get the Kool-Aid.
Exactly. I know. I want to go on this retreat. Holy cow.
There's going to be more because now I realize I can feel them. So
Exactly. Yeah. And you can just dream of the next place. Ah,
yes,
so
mountains
cool.
in the summer somewhere.
There you
Just saying.
go. Beautiful. Um, well, I just want to keep talking to you. You just fill me with joy and inspiration. There's so much just incredible energy that comes out of you. And yeah, you totally own and live your manifesting generatorness. It's like, wow, she's really true to her design. I can just feel it. I would love to know, looking ahead, what's next? Obviously, we know about a retreat coming up in April. What else?
Something that I've more recently learned was like I I don't put numbers and time on anything for what's next anymore. I've
Hmm.
removed all the numbers and time and I've said, okay, what's next is I want to continue to build the impact of women that I'm serving, right? In whatever capacity is meant for next for me, whether that's all the different one-on-one, mastermind, group coaching, whatever. But I'm trusting on the path because it's already created. It's already ready for me. I just got to trust on the path and know that like whatever path I'm taking, that's exactly what's meant to be happening. So like for example, the retreat I waited on for a year and a half and then I had a client tell me, she sent me the picture of the house and she said click the button. And I was like, "What? Are you coaching me?" She's my 3-year client and she said click the button. This is a perfect house. So I did. And I paid for it before anyone signed up and I was like sweating because it's this 5-figure house.
Wow.
Um I did not know that was going to show up and I just trusted that whatever was next for me to build my impact was going to show up. So I have all the ideas out there. I've got the podcast, I've got the book, I've got all the things I want to do, and I'm just going to trust it's going to show up exactly when it's meant to show up, and I'm going to do it exactly when I meant to do it.
It's a brilliant
So the vision
strategy.
is there, but how it shows up and when it shows up, I'm just going to trust.
Exactly. Uh, the universe seems to be taking care of you and supporting you as you do this. So why not?
Right?
Why not?
And that's possible for everybody. Everybody listening, everybody watching. The possibilities are all in you. You have all the control to create the possibilities of what it is and create the potentiality of where you can go. But
Yeah,
to stop waiting to create your freedom vision. Stop waiting. That's my biggest word of advice.
exactly.
Love
Yeah.
that.
Why delay your joy, right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Let's create retirement lives and make money doing it, right? Like we were taught how to create like retirement's going to be all this stuff when we're like 65, 70 years old. No, create it now and make money doing it.
Yeah.
Exactly. And have fun. The money's just a fringe benefit.
Right.
Mhm.
That comes naturally and
Yeah,
organically when you're having fun, living in joy and love.
exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And just fueled by the impact that you're creating and making.
Mhm.
That's amazing. So I know everybody watching and listening is like, how do I get more of Coach Jackie Cote? And how do I find out about these future retreats and all the things? So how can people connect with you?
You know, it's funny because I just say come be friends with me on Facebook. But if you do friend me on Facebook, I want you to message me and let me know that you met me here so that I can give these ladies a shout out for having me on their platform. And I want to let them know that. But friend me on Facebook because that is really like how you get to know me, my energy, what I have going on. There's links to my retreat group. And then, of course, I have a website. You can always check that out, and that's wonderful. But honestly, like, let's be friends. I haven't maxed out my friend quota yet, so there's still room. And I don't know. I just think it's funny. And I have email lists. I have an email campaign and stuff like that. So, but come meet me first there. and then let's chat, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah. Speaking of chatting, you're graciously offering a free 30-minute vision call. So talk to us a little bit about that.
Actually, the freebie, that intentional goal setting,
Okay.
I think I shared that link. But if not, I can share it with you. I'd love for you to share it with your group because it's something that teaches them. I don't know about you, but in corporate America, we were taught SMART goals, right? Specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, time sensitive. And there was always something missing for me, but I didn't know what it was. Now I know it's the intentions along with that. So like you've got this external goal of money, weight loss, thing, house, whatever it is. But what do you want to feel along the journey? What do you want to experience? So if I want like 18 people in my retreat, but what do I want to feel in like the launch of it and expressing the whole journey? So that whenever it shows up, because we can't control it anyway, right? Whenever it shows up, like I've had fun the whole way and I'm already in the energy of what it is to receive it today. And so this video, it's a free 30-minute video explaining how to do intentional goal setting every month. And with that video, there's a link that they can get a free 30-minute call called the Connect call, where they can go deeper into what it is. Because sometimes people do, they're like, because I get out markers and we like draw and like we like write out because we bring back to the childhood thing. And some people are like, I'm not sure if I'm ready for that. I have my planner, I have my structure, and I'm like, let's play. Let's get on a call and play.
That's awesome. Yes, we'll definitely get that link in there. Does it happen to be the bit.ly/connect with Coach Jackie, or is it something different?
It's something different. I can drop it
Okay,
in the chat if you'd like. I have
perfect. And
that.
we'll get it in the show notes for everybody.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. Um, and let's see. I keep forgetting we're on StreamYard. I'm like, where's the Zoom?
Yeah.
All right. Right? I'm like, wait a second. I love
Well,
it.
if you pop it in the chat, we'll get it shared. And then,
Perfect.
yeah. And as we
And
kind of wind down here,
yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
well, I'm sure whatever you were going to say is fabulous. So I'm going to stop talking and let you finish.
No, no, I was gonna say, so yeah, so that clicking on that, like you'll get the free video, but then there'll be the connect call that you had mentioned a second ago. That link it's in there, so they can click on that and they can schedule a 30-minute with me. So
I love
Nice.
it.
Holy cow. So they get the intention setting video and then they can also get a 30-minute call.
yes,
Bonus. Who would not want to do this?
winner,
I'm
winner,
going to
chicken
do it.
dinner.
I'm going to do it because I want to talk to Jackie more.
Let's do it, girl.
Yes.
It's
Yeah,
so
I
funny because
have.
I get like I'm not a night person anymore, right? So I told you guys, I was joking around with the ladies. I was like, only because I love you guys, I'm here at 8 o'clock at night, right? But when I'm done with these things, I can't sleep because I'm so energized because I'm with people like you. So I just want to say that, like afterwards, I'm like, all the tiredness is gone, and then I'm like super energetic the rest of the night, and I'm like, oh, I love this business. I love what I do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, yeah, it suits you, Jackie, totally. And I have to give a quick shout out to Coach Margine. She and I actually went through our coaching program together. So we're from the same coaching cohort. And I'm delighted that she showed up to listen tonight,
Yes,
along with
awesome. So
everyone
nice to
else
meet
who
you.
is out there listening.
Yeah, we
Absolutely.
had Catherine's one of my friends that joined, and another lady, another girl from my group said she checked out some of the human design stuff, just so you know. Like she looked at the link and she went to the group and then she checked out some of that stuff. So they're coming. My people are
Yeah.
coming.
Somebody did list you as a referral. So yeah, thank you.
Awesome.
Nice. Nice. So I would love to, since we're acknowledging everyone who's listening and tuning in, I would love to ask each of those people what their takeaways were from today's episode, what value they got, and to please pop those comments into whatever platform they're on. And also to please share this episode with someone that they know would benefit as well. And heck, who wouldn't? So, leaving a podcast review at ratethispodcast.com/CALYL, that's Calil for Create a Life You Love, is always appreciated. You can quickly and easily leave that review from your mobile device by grabbing the link And we will pop that in right here. Again, that's ratethispodcast.com/Khalil.
Awesome. And quick reminder that in the Create a Life You Love membership, we're currently offering a free, open to the public, 21-day Human Design Authority Challenge. It's completely self-paced and only takes a few minutes a day. So today is technically day 2, but you could start today, you could start a week from now, whenever it aligns with you. It's designed to help you get clarity and build self-trust so that you can get aligned decisions in your business and in your life. And so to learn more and join in on the fun, you can go to the link that's going to be on your screen and in the show notes. It's kind of long. It's createalifeyoulovecoaching.com is the website, and then /21-day authority challenge. But in between each of those is a hyphen. So just go to the show notes and click the link. And then
I know we did not make that easy.
Is that also in the group, the free group for people to click on? Okay, awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
It's been advertised a lot. Yes. So it's all over in the community group. Yes. And so then kind of staying on this theme of alignment, freedom, just creating things that go with your design. In next week's episode, Gwen is actually going to be sharing how she brings human design into her coaching practice. So you definitely don't want to miss out on that.
Absolutely. It's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah, hopefully we'll have someone to coach in the love seat, but if not, I'll just bring a lot of great stories to the table and share some client success and wins and related to their designs and how they've been able to apply what they've learned. Really cool and very exciting.
That's human design's awesome. I'm excited for whoever gets that hot seat.
Yeah, likewise.
If you want it, same time, same place next Tuesday.
Exactly. Show up, Jackie.
To one of our members, but we hadn't heard back prior to hitting go live on this. So we'll kind of check in with her. But then anybody listening, Jackie or anyone else, there's a spot open. Same time, same place next Tuesday to get coached by Gwen in a human design coaching container and see what that's all about.
Absolutely. Yeah, we will bear your design to the world.
That's an awesome.
In a loving and safe space.
Awesome.
Okay. So, we're live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central Time in the Create a Life You Love community. And then if you miss us live, the replay's in there right away, or you can catch episodes wherever you listen to podcasts or on YouTube. And so just come hang out with us in the free Facebook group, Create a Life You Love community. And we'll be here same time, same place next Tuesday. Until then, enjoy the journey.
Bye, guys. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for listening to the Create a Life You Love podcast. We would love to hear from you about your biggest takeaways. Share them with us on Facebook or Instagram at Create a Life You Love Coaching. If you love this episode, be sure to subscribe, rate, and leave a review. It's very much appreciated. If you are ready to build aligned and sustainable momentum without overwhelm and burnout, we invite you to apply for the Create a Life You Love membership on our website, createalifeyoulovecoaching.com/membership. That's it for now. Enjoy the journey.